friends. Carrie here with Handcrafted by Carrie. Welcome to week 2 of the Summer Craft Hop Giveaway 2019. Thank you for joining us. I am hosting this swap and I am joined by 5 wonderful ladies. Christy Eve, Jellybean Junction, Donna Dreams 3X, Tina's Crafty Life, and Catzel Create. All of their channels will be linked in the description box below. If you have not viewed week 1, please do so, as all of the instructions for participation are at the beginning of that video. Just as a little reminder, we are giving away great prizes. Each channel will be giving away at least one prize in their channel drawing. In addition to the prizes on each of the channels, you will have a chance to win a $30 PayPal transfer. So let's get started with the tutorial for this week, which will be for this lovely suitcase box. Okay, so for this project, you are going to need 2 pieces of lightweight chipboard that is 5 3/8 by 7 3/4 of an inch. And then you will need 2 pieces that are 8 1/4 by 2 and 2 pieces that are 8 1/4 by 1, 2 pieces that are 5 3/4 by 2, and 2 pieces that are 5 3/4 by 1. And you will need 2 pieces of cardstock that are 8 1/2 by 11. Now I used a 12 by 12 and cut it down, and I am using a double-sided. You're going to need 6 strips of paper that is at least 9 3/4 inch long and 1 inch wide. I embossed my paper to give it a leather look because I will be using these to make the straps. You will also need 8 pieces of paper that are a 2-inch square or circle. I will be using squares and using that punch that I just showed you. And then in addition, you are going to need 3 sheets of 12 by 12 paper to use for a liner, and I recommend using a light paperweight paper. Okay, so we're going to take our 8 1/2 by 11 inch paper, and we are going to score this at 1 1/2 inches on all sides for both pieces of that paper. Okay, now we're going to cut on the score on the 2 shorter sides. And then we're going to come in here and just take out just a little sliver. And then we'll do the same thing on the second one. Cut just to the next score line on the shorter side. And here I made a mistake and had not scored in the right spot. So I'm coming back and scoring in the correct spot. And then you can see where I had that little extra line. I'm going to flip it over and then very gently take my tool and just come down over it to kind of erase it. So it's important that you make sure you are scoring where you mean to score. But if you misscore, you can do what I just showed you there, which pretty much takes the mark out. Okay. And then we can just continue with our trimming. So we'll just finish that. Take the little slivers out just like we did on the other one. This just helps when we go to fold our corners in. Okay, so now you want to use your bone folder and crease it on all the folds. Okay, on both pieces. Okay, now we're going to take ATG and put it on all 4 tabs. And then you just want to line your tabs up carefully for all 4 sides. And you'll do that for both of the boxes. Just carefully lining them up so that you have them even. And then you have your 2 boxes. Now we're going to take our strips. So we're going to score this at 7 7/8 of an inch on all of them, on just the one end. And then on the shorter ones, we will score them at 5 3/8. And then we'll come in here and we will bend them. Now you will take your ATG tape again, and then you will just attach all the folds. And you just kind of make a frame that will fit inside your box lid. And then you're going to take the smaller ones. Now it's very important that these you make sure are no wider than an inch. You can even make them a little bit thinner than an inch, or your box won't close properly. And just checking it to make sure it all fits in. Okay, now we're going to take our lightweight paperweight paper, and we're going to cut this down. You are going to need 2 strips that are 8 3/4 by 4 1/4, 2 strips that are 5 3/8 by 4 1/4, 2 strips that are 8 3/4 by 2 1/4, 2 strips that are 5 3/8 by 2 1/4, and then you will need 2 pieces that are 6 3/8 by 8 3/4. So once we have all that cut, we're going to take our pieces that are 6 3/8 by 8 3/4, and we'll score that at 1/2 inch on all the sides on both pieces of paper. Okay, taking the strips that are 2 3/4 of an inch by 8 3/4, we will score at 1/2 inch on 3 sides, and then at 1 1/2 inches. And we'll do that on both. 1/2 inch on both of the short sides, one of the long sides, and then 1 1/2 inches. And then for the pieces that are 2 1/4 by 5 3/8, we will score at 1/2 inch and at 1 1/2 inches. Now taking the piece that is 8 3/4 by 4 1/4, we will score at 1/2 inch on 3 sides, one long side and 2 of the short sides, and then we will also score at 2 1/2 inches. And then for the shorter piece, we will score at 1/2 inch and then at 2 1/2 inches. 1/2 inch and 2 1/2. Okay, now we're going to use our bone folder and crease our sides, snip our corners, and then we will, I'm going to use wet glue here, place our cardboard in and smooth the sides down using our bone folder. Mitering your corners makes it easier when you're folding the paper. It gives you a smoother fold. Okay, and then you want to take your side pieces and you want to crease on all of your folds. You're going to miter the corner on the side with a 1/2 inch long fold. Okay. Once you get your pieces folded, you're going to take your scissors and you're just going to snip in at the 2 1/2 inch fold mark, just to make it where it'll fold over better. And now we're just going to add in some ATG tape to hold it down. As you can see, I'm not putting any on the inside because the insert will hold those down. You want to put your long sides on first and then your shorter sides, because that holds everything down in place. And then we'll do the same thing with the 1 inch one. You fit your long sides on first, and then you'll do your shorter sides. Now I did use paperweight paper. You can use cardstock weight paper. I just find the lighter paper works better. And then once we have that done, we're going to take our boxes and make a hinge. And we'll do this by cutting a strip of paper 2.5 inches wide by 7 3/4 of an inch long. And we are going to score it at 1 1/4, and then we'll make a little angle cut, keeping the folded side longest. Add in our ADGs, make sure our boxes are matched up well, and then slip it over and press it down. Okay, now I am starting to work on the straps, and I folded them at 1/2 inch because I'm going to fold them over. And then when I put my box piece in, like so, that's going to help hold them in place somewhat. I'm just kind of putting that in place. I'm not gluing this down. I'll glue it down at the end because I may need to take it in and out, so I don't want to make it firmly adhered yet. Now what I want to do is I'm just kind of bending my paper over at the corners so that it will fit well. And then I will cut it off so that it is flush with the little divide. And I use some ATG tape to put this down with. I'm going to do the same thing on another strap. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm going to make the handle here. And I'm scoring at 1/2 inch and then at 1 inch. And then I'm folding these in. This strip is 1.5 inches. And I'm taking off a little sliver of the one that's going to fold to the inside just to make it fold neater. And put the glue down. Fold that in. Just kind of pressing it and trying to hold it till it stays together. And it takes a little maneuvering and smoothing and pressing. Once I get the one piece done, then I fold the other over again, using my bone folder to get a good crease. And then I will add glue in. I'm also going to take some distress ink and just cover that. Okay, now I'm doing my final. Smoothing it down with my bone folder to make sure it's done good. Doing some distress ink along the sides. Okay, so once I have my handle basically formed, I go ahead and get my front straps down. Actually, I'm sorry, it'll be my back straps. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to use a bone folder to curve it, to give it more of a handle shape. And then I'm going to fit it in under these top strap pieces. Kind of measure and then clip off the excess. And keep using my bone folder. I'm going to take these two little grommets and I'm going to use those to attach the handle to the top. And I'm using my crocodile. Now I want to say that if I was doing this box over again, I would have put the straps on while the pieces were flat before I formed the box. Because I have to maneuver quite a bit trying to get everything lined up since it's not flat. And then I'm taking the second piece of my strap that's going to be the part that kind of buckles, sort of. And I'm just trying to get everything lined up, which takes some work. And I'm making like a little straight line so that I'll be able to see that through the hole to make sure I'm getting this punched in the same spot. And marking it on the correct side. Okay. Once I have everything kind of lined up and ready to punch, I do my holes. Okay, now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to line everything up like so. Put my little grommet in and use my crocodile to adhere it down. And this does take some time and some finagling, which is why if I was doing it over, I would put my straps on when the box was flat. Okay, but there you go. I have both the straps attached. And now I'm trying to punch holes in the bottom because I'm going to put in some brads. I got them done and I'm putting in some brads on the bottom. I pay a lot of attention to details. So after I do some maneuvering, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to take some of those little strong magnets and I'm going to place them down on the top of the box. You can see I'm putting one there now. And then my strap will come up over it. And I decide to use some double-sided tape. Okay, I'm using a pencil to kind of line up to make sure I'm getting my magnets at the same level. Okay. And it's a lot of fidgeting and trying to get everything aligned perfectly. There we go, I've got one done. And I'll have to come in and do the other one. And I'm sorry, I keep going out of frame. I was trying to stay in frame, but I didn't do that great, I guess. Now I'm slipping the shorter side in. And then I'll check just to make sure everything closes correctly. Okay, and then I'm going to fold the straps up over the brad legs. And I'm going to trim off the excess because I want it to cover the brad legs, but I don't need that long of a piece. Now I'm going to take some glue and work on getting this stuck down. Eventually I decide to take the brad off and add some glue on the underside of it. Put it back in place. Fold the legs in. And I am going to use some double-sided tape here to hold those legs down flat. And also to help adhere the flap that comes over it, which I also use wet glue with. And once I have that, then I check it and it pops into place perfectly. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side of applying the brad and getting it in place and trimming off excess, getting it where it also will come down and secure the other side of the box. And there we go. We're done with that. So we have our handle attached. We have our strap zone. Now, I'm going to make corner pieces. And I used that thin gold paper, so I backed it onto some scraps to make it a little heavier. And I'm scoring this at 1 inch. So just kind of making like an X there at 1 inch. And then I'm going to fold these. Okay. I'm going to fold all of them in half and then half the other way. And I'm going to take a decorative corner punch and punch my corners. You also could have done this with a 2-inch circle punch or a 2-inch scallop punch, and it would be the same thing. You would want to score it in the middle and then fold them. And I'm just coming around with a little bit of my distress ink. Okay, and I just go through and distress all the sides of these pieces. Once I get all of these done, I will then use my corner punch. So if you have a decorative corner punch, you could use square pieces and still get a really pretty look. Okay. And now I'm going to take my corner punch and I'm going to punch all the corners on all of the pieces. Okay, and that's just going to go through and do all of the pieces. Okay, and then I'm going to come and just clip on one side to the middle score line. I'm going to take some tacky glue and I'm going to put the glue onto the thing, and then you just fold it in to make a little triangle piece and fit it onto your corner. Okay, and you're just going to keep doing this until you have all of your corners done. And if you get any glue on the outside, baby wipe works well just to wipe off any excess, which is what I'm doing. This just gives a nice little finishing detail. Kind of looks like the little metal edges that were on the old vintage suitcases. Okay, and then I'm just going to take some distress ink and come in and just do the where it's folded at. Okay, and there we go. Now I'm going to take a strip of paper that is about 11 inches long. I'm going to come in and I'm going to score it every 1/4 inch. And I'm going to use this to make a little insert on the deeper side of the inside of the box. And unfortunately in here it's going to cut out and it's not going to show you what I did. Okay, once you get these all scored at a 1/4 inch, you're going to come and do a back and forth fold, making a zigzag which I start doing here. And you just kind of crease it with your fingers as you go to get a good crease. And I'm using my little tool because it was a little hard for me. Sometimes my fingers are bothering me. And you want to keep doing this back and forth, back and forth. And this becomes a insert or like a little curtain, whatever. And I do come in here and I add some lace to this before I insert it inside the box. Unfortunately, my camera died here and I didn't realize it. Okay, here is our finished box, completely decorated. I've added flowers and butterflies and glitter. I've added a rosette with a bird and some leaves and some little flowers. Just kind of showing you all the little finishing details. I added trim and pearls all along the sides and the top. And I've also did it on the bottom with the pearls and the trim. It goes all the way around the suitcase. So I have all these pretty little finishing details. And then I made like a little tag, kind of like a faux luggage tag, which I use the same paper that I used to make the straps with. And here you go. I made it with a little shaker, put a hello on it, added a little charm, some little pearls. And that completes this box, which will be given away as a prize with some goodies in it. So if you would like to get an extra entry this week, when you make a comment below, tell me what is a goodie you would like to have added into the box. And who knows, maybe I'll be one that I add in. And as always, if you have not subscribed, please do. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video. If you click the bell, you'll get notifications when new ones are posted. And remember, you have to follow the directions in order to be entered into the contest.